Welcome to part one of your Love Note series. I want to talk to you today about being an island, but also why you are and maybe why you're not meant to. So, a lot of my background is involved in women's leadership, and that stems from a lifelong journey of being a highly independent person myself and a lifelong journey of understanding what it means to be an oldest daughter and oldest granddaughter on both sides of the family, and ultimately just feeling like I was always, the mom of the group, the wise one, the one that grew up really fast. And I started to understand this concept very early on about what it means to be an island. And a lot of people say that our nervous systems are not wired to be islands. And though I agree with some of that, I want to de-influence you a little bit about that language. First, we're going to dive into why I agree with that statement. So, to me, you're not an island because you're not meant to do everything on your own by yourself. This mentality is often what triggers women into burnout, whether that's in their partnerships or whether that's in their business or both. Maybe that's also in their family unit as well, where they feel like, well, no one's going to do it, so I have to do it myself. Well, no one's going to step up, so I have to do it myself. Well, no one's going to take care of this, so I have to do it myself. And we build this island around us of a fortress of independence. And inside that island is longing a little girl that's like, someone please carry some of that load. And I don't know about you, but I certainly can relate to that feeling of wondering if anyone would see me and offer to help because God forbid I ask for what I need, and God forbid I actually like communicate what's important to me when I'm struggling. Again, many of us live with this mentality and grow up with this mentality that asking for help is weakness or asking for help means you're somehow inadequate. And I want to reassure you right now that leaders know how to communicate what's important to them, and they know how to delegate, and they also know how to ask for what they need. So, we can't be an island because an island means that we're all alone by ourselves in the middle of an ocean and no one's coming to rescue or save us because islands are islands and they're good by themselves. And you might actually genuinely feel pretty decent when you're on your own by yourself. Admittedly, I tend to feel that way quite often. Don't tell my partner. So, why can't we be an island? I'm going to argue both sides for you for a second. So, why can't we be an island? Because since the dawn of time, women have gathered in community together. We've bled together, we've had babies together, we've made food together, we've made homes together, we conversate. Even in modern society, there's a cultural component that is really for women around building connection, co-creation, collaboration, community that isn't competitive. Let me be clear. This is a differentiating piece, right? We really want to create co-creative spaces. This really lights up the feminine within us as long as there isn't any sort of jealousy, envy, competition that is taking over and dampering the dynamics. You know, those vibes where girls just gossip about each other behind their back? Well, that's not really the ideal way we operate. Feminine and women in alignment actually thrive together. We can actually cohabitate really well together. And when one woman lifts another up, we all rise together. Maybe you've heard that phrase, maybe you've heard a version of it, but it's actually true. I've witnessed it, I've seen it. This is why group work is such an integral part of all that I do and all that I'm going to be sharing with you amongst the next few episodes here too, because yes, you are not meant to do it all on your own. And the most successful people I know have a team around them and also have other leaders with them, cheering them on behind the scenes. You gotta really have your people. It's so important for your nervous system to have other people knowing and seeing what you're doing with your life. It's so important for your nervous system to have that support and strength when you don't always feel at your best. It's so important for your nervous system to have people in your life who remind you of your magic when you're doubting yourself and challenging yourself past those next levels of success. It's so important for women to gather as women. It's why, I don't know if you've noticed, but I certainly love a good women's circle or a full moon gathering. It's why women love to go for brunch together in large groups. It's why we have girls' nights and girls' trips. These are all reminders of why women love being around women and why we are not meant to be an island. When you are an island, I can guarantee you that you have at some point experienced a burnout. And the reason that you feel like you've gotten a burnout is often stemming from this need to overwork, overproduce, overdo, overgive, and ultimately feel like you've got no one in your side, no one in your corner. It's a bit lonely being an island. And that loneliness feeling is often what leaders feel too. So, in contrast, why are you okay to be an island? Why is it okay to be an island? Here is the thing that no one wants to say, and this is the thing that I'm going to try my best to articulate to you. If you are a leader, you have to go first. Yes, that means that you might be carving a path that no one else has done before. And since no one else has done it before, no one else is doing it with you. Kind of like an island, right? So if no one else is carving this path with you, for you, and you have to lead it, you kind of have to be comfortable being an island, right? This is the hard part about leadership. This is the challenging energy about leadership is you are so beyond capable of doing it all by yourself. And how can you be amongst the right people who see you, who know you, who support you, and ultimately who want to see you rise without a fear of someone stealing your great idea or a fear of someone talking about you behind your back or a fear of someone just saying yes to you when you know they feel obligated, right? So how can we have the strength of an island without going to the fortress energy of the highly independent woman who was like, I got this. It's fine. I'm burning out. You know, the whole island's on fire here. And well, I guess I'm also going to be the fire truck, the water, all the things. I'm going to rescue all the animals. Like I'm doing it all by myself. How can you actually be an island without doing it all by yourself? So successful leaders, successful female leaders surround themselves with fellow female leaders. We need fellowship. We need support, and we need people at our same level who get what it takes to be a leader. Because just because you're going first doesn't mean you can't have people who are like, yeah, go Julie. Yeah, go Sarah. Yeah, go Michelle. Like your teammates are cheering you on, but the leader has to go first. I mean, that's what makes a leader, right? You're innovating something, you're doing something nobody has done before, and you're going first. Here's where I want to remind you of your leadership skills that you already have. If you're listening to this series, I'm going to venture a guess that you are probably the first woman in your family to go for therapy, hire a coach, read self-help books, maybe eat clean, the first woman who wants to raise emotionally intelligent children in your family, perhaps the first woman in your family who has her own business, the first woman in your family who has maybe moved away from home, the first woman in your family who is actually bringing healthy communication to the dynamics in your family. You're maybe the first woman in your family who has made a certain dollar amount. Maybe you're the first entrepreneur in your family or the first leader, true leader in your family. You're probably a cycle breaker. You are probably breaking generational patterns, and you're listening to all that I'm sharing here because you know that you're meant to carve a different path. So leadership is not bro, masculine, I'm in charge energy. It's the energy that your soul is craving from you. It's that like inner drive that goes, I'm not going to repeat the patterns in my life that I saw my mother, my grandmother, my grandma's mother do. I'm going to carve a new path, create a new way, whether that's in my relationships, whether that's in my life, and most importantly, with my purpose. You are already doing it. And most of us are scared to proclaim the title of leader because of the level of responsibility it evokes. So I'm going to go further into that subject on a different part here. But what I'm here to remind you of today is if you feel lonely in your path of charging the pack and leading the way, if you have a business innovation or you're a soul-led healer, entrepreneur, like woman creator, any of that with your business, whether it's a side project or the main thing that you do, I want to invite you to come join us inside She for We. This is my beautiful support group for women who have a business, for leaders who have a business. The reason why this group is exactly what you're looking for is because it's going to be those vibes I just talked about. A bunch of leaders sitting together, leading their way. She for We is not a container that's one size fits all. And it's certainly not the Rochelle method with a bunch of specific strategies to tell you exactly how to lead the way I did. In fact, my style of leadership is to help you become the best leader of your own life, become the best leader in your business, become the best leader in your relationships. And if you're thinking to me, because this is the question that often I get is, how can I be feminine and be a leader if I want him to be masculine? Well, we discuss topics like that inside She for We all the time. If you feel called, if you're curious to learn more, check out the show notes, and I'd love to have you a part of our She for We community. Stay tuned for more parts of this Love Note series.